Welcome back to Max's Muscle TV. We're here back in the kitchen with the chef you're most likely to find in a butcher shop, Peter Wright.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. I'm very lean and high in protein. And what we're going to talk about today, guys, is everything to do with protein.
We know that protein's the most important thing when it comes to bodybuilding, building muscle and recovery. The building blocks of life. Protein's fantastic. You can't live without it.
Now, I know you love your steak, Tony, but is it possible to put on lots of muscle without eating protein?
In my opinion, it's very difficult. I know there's been some vegetarians that have got somewhere in bodybuilding, but not all the way. And most of them are eating eggs or probably sneaking in a bit of protein on the side without telling anyone.
Because you can get protein in chickpeas and tofu and things like that.
Forget about it. It's a very poor quality of protein. If you weren't to eat any meat or any eggs or anything else, and you took whey protein isolate, you've got some hope. But even with whey protein isolate, you need to use it with your real proteins, the ones that your body can digest and get all those amino acids out of to really grow big muscles. Pete, let's go through some of the proteins and some of the choices we can make.
So we've got a lot of different options, Tony. We'll start off with the seafood. So we've got tin tuna in spring water, used by a lot of bodybuilders. Good thing for a snack.
Go for the tuna in fresh spring water because some of the oily ones, obviously, they've got fat content that you can't avoid. So tuna in spring water is the way to go, and it is still really the king of the hill when it comes to in-between meals with protein and stuff that's convenient.
So we need that tin tuna. We've got some whiting fillets there, just some white fish.
Look, white fish is great. Once again, very low in fat, very easy to cook, and you can get it anywhere. Very nutritionally sound. It's a great way of getting protein. Obviously, you've got to go for the fresh stuff, but the problem with it is it's not very filling, and you've got to have a whole lot of it to fill that void, and I reckon you're hungry half an hour later. So it is good, and particularly when you're dieting, to have with your salads. If you're a bit behind in your diet, there's nothing better than white fish and salad to get that weight off. Another great choice.
Tony, we'll go on to the prawns. Now, these are peeled prawns, and you might think prawns are really, really expensive, but you can buy prawns cheaper than you can buy lamb, cheaper than you can buy fillet steak, so they're not that expensive in the scheme of things.
Look, and prawns are great, you know, for a bit of a treat when you're dieting. They're probably maligned and not used that much by bodybuilders and by athletes, but they're fantastic. You can put them into a seafood marinara, you can put them in with your rice, stir fry, all sorts of things.
And you want to buy them, if you can, already peeled, because there's a bit of work in peeling them. So moving away from seafood, Tony, we're going to the eggs.
Eggs are a fantastic food. Let me tell you why. They're the perfect amino acid profile out of all of your proteins. An egg's got everything you need. People talk about the egg yolk being bad or they're full of cholesterol, but they're really not. They are the perfect protein and they should be included in every diet.
Just finishing up on eggs, Tony. The beauty of eggs are they're so convenient. You can buy them anywhere. They're very cheap, about $2 each, but you can scramble them, poach them, fry them, you know, mix them into your shakes, whatever you like. Very easy to cook, 2 or 3 minutes, and you've got a great meal. Okay, so moving on to something I know you love, Tony, is red meat, and in particular beef. So I've got some roux sausages, some roux back straps, and some roux burgers, and as you can see, they look lean. They're very dark meat. There's not a lot of visible fat in. I've got some strip meats for your stir fry, some fillet steak, and some porterhouse steaks, which are premium cut. We've got from sausages to mince to prime steaks, $9–10 a kilo, up to $30 to $40 a kilo. It's up to you what you have. Now, the important thing about buying meat is, again, try to make a relationship with your butcher. If you're buying lots of meat, go to the local shop, say good day to the guy, tell him that you're a bodybuilder and you're going to be coming here every week and buying 4 or 5 kilos of meat, and tell him what you want: lean meat, no visible fat, and something that's very, very quick and easy to cook. All these cuts here are very, very simple to cook. Grill them, stir fry them, roast them through the oven, very, very quick to cook. Well, Tony, I've cooked thousands and thousands of kilos of meat, but is there any difference in the nutritional value from minced meat through to fillet steak?
Look, not really, Pete. If you're buying mince meat and you buy one of the really lean cuts, there's no difference. You know, now in the supermarkets, it actually has the percentage of fat that the mince has got. So if you get something below 10%, it's probably even leaner than some of the steaks. No difference digestion-wise, apart from the fact that it's a little bit easier to digest because instead of having to chew it all into tiny little bits, it's already in a mince sort of form. So it's probably a little bit easier absorbed. I like steak because it's a good long-acting protein. It takes your body quite a while to digest it. Therefore, it's not sucked up and used really fast like white fish. Yeah. So I find if you're in a gaining sort of stage of your progress, or you're someone trying to put on muscle from the beginning, you can't go wrong with steak. When I say steak, I'm talking about any red meat, and it can be lamb, it can be beef, it can be kangaroo. They're all good to me. So that's it for red meat. You're making me hungry, Pete. What do we got next?
So moving on to the next one is our white meats. Now we've got here some chicken and some pork and some pork chops. One of the birds that's missing off there is the turkey. So turkey at the moment is becoming very, very popular, but again, go for the turkey breast, go for the white meat. Also with chicken breast, It's the white meat, we don't eat the thighs or the legs, and you can see no skin on there, so we've taken all the skin off.
Like chicken, turkey breast is very, very low in fat, very high in protein. In fact, some turkey breast, if you're leaning towards the high quality or the organic ones, they're as high as 50% protein, which is probably higher than any other protein on the scale, whereas chicken might be around 30%. So turkey's a very, very good way to get your protein. But chicken is a bodybuilder's favourite, and I think mainly because it's so available, it's cost effective. You can still get chicken fillets, skin on for about, what, $10?
Yeah, at least.
You just can't go wrong with chicken. High protein, low fat, and always available.
And make sure you cook it all the way through. So you're right, you can slice it up and stir fry it, you can grill it, you can poach it, however way you want, and it's great for cooking in advance and keeping in the fridge for the next couple of days.
I guess the message we're trying to tell the folks at home, folks, this is all good food. There's nothing really better. Go with your personal taste, make good choices, and find out what's best for you. You've got to eat 5, 6, 7 times a day to gain muscle. Now, it's almost impossible to do and almost impossible to digest if you're having all that meat every single meal, and that's where our protein powders come into play. What a fantastic way to get protein. You can carry it with you, you can mix it up in a shaker. Because it's made from milk, you really only need to add water to it and mix it up in a shake, and it's very, very easy to digest and get into your bloodstream.
So Tony, are all proteins the same or are some of them different?
Okay, so with your whey protein, folks, there's all different grades. So the highest quality is your hydrolyzed whey protein isolate, then your whey protein isolate, your whey protein concentrate, which are all very, very good and have their own purpose. Then it comes down to your caseins, even your egg albumin, and probably at the bottom of my list, your soy proteins. There's vegetable proteins and all sorts of proteins out there, and they're really at the bottom of my list. The best one is whey protein isolate. It's perfect for after training, perfect for before bed, perfect for the middle of the day and in between meals. But it's a little bit like your meats. You can only get what you can afford, and some people can only afford a casein, and that's fine. It's still way better than no protein at all. So if you can afford the whey protein isolate, it's certainly the best one you can get. In fact, in breaking news, Max's have just brought out for the first time in Australia, they're about to introduce a higher quality whey protein isolate that's got 20% more leucine, which is an amino acid, which is an anabolic activator. It helps with recovery. It's one of only 3 amino acids that really, really help with recovery. Quick lesson, 3 amino acids associated with muscle growth: leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Now, they're the 3 amino acids that you can take as free-form amino acids, which are the building blocks of muscle. There's 20-something amino acids. Some make your fingernails hard, some make your hair grow, some make your skin shiny, and you need all of them. But the 3 we really need for bodybuilders are those 3 branched chain amino acids, and the most important of those is L-leucine. For the first time in the coming months, that'll be available here in Australia in the Max's variety of WPI. It's an amazing formulation, 20% more leucine, and the fact that Max's are the first company in Australia to have that, it's something we want you to try, test out, and just see the difference in your recovery. It'll be amazing. So we look forward to that exciting development. But for me, WPI is the way to go. Whether you have hydrolyzed or regular, doesn't really matter. The hydrolyzed is better straight after you train, and the regular WPI throughout the day. Best time to have it: mid-morning, after training, mid-afternoon, and before bed. Supplementing your meat intake, and you'll find it's more affordable, more digestible, and you just can't go wrong. Now, we've gone on about protein. It's the most important thing we can teach you at home, folks. Protein is the building blocks of bodybuilding, the building blocks of life. You can't get enough protein. Find out about it, try it out, work out what works for you. It's just fantastic. Thanks, Pete, and we'll see you after the break.